title of our discussion today is The Mystery of Iniquity. In other words, why does God allow things to happen? Well, many of you who witnessed the election of February 25th, 2023 may be wondering why God allowed Buhari and his foot soldier Muhammad Yakubu rig the election despite all the prayers and supplications made to God by well-meaning Nigerians. Why would God allow that to happen? Well, these are the kind of questions that have plagued mankind's relationship with God for centuries. And these are one of the main reasons why many people have abandoned the faith and given up on religion. Well, we're going to look at why God appears to let bad things happen and what it means for our relationship with Him. One way to answer the question is to ask, who does God allow bad things to happen to? This is important because the majority of people agree that bad things should happen to bad people. For instance, when somebody steals, he should be arrested and punished. Or what majority of people disagree with is that bad things should happen to good people. So the next question will be, are Nigerians good? Some people will argue that there are ample evidence that many Nigerians are good people, but it is equally true that there are only many Nigerians that are not so good. Here are 5 reasons why Nigerians aren't as good as we think. Number 1 reason is prevalence of corruption. Although we sometimes argue that most of the corruption that takes place in Nigeria is by top people and in high places, but there is also significant evidence to show that the corruption costs across all strata of Nigerian society. Nigeria scores, according to Global Corruption Index, Nigeria scores 24 over 100, a Global Corruption Perception Index, published in 2022. And this means F9 if we were to grade it according to academic grade standards. And then Nigeria also ranks about 150th out of 180 most corrupt countries in the world. Secondly, the Nigerian constitution is fraudulent. One of the most troubling aspects of the Nigerian constitution is that it allows victims of electoral fraud to be sworn in and enjoy state powers while their case is still being heard in court, as we are going to witness very soon, the swearing of Bola Tinubu as the president of Nigeria, even while he has numerous cases of forgery, fraud, even drug cases, election tribunal petitions that are ongoing. Well, this is why Bola Tinubu stated that power is not served a la carte, that they must snatch it. He is very well versed in the Nigerian constitution. And indeed, even Professor Patu Tony has this to say.
Case of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu saying, oh, power is not served a la carte, grab it, run with it. It's actually not original to him. The person I remember who was the original on that was the late Athon Zeribe. I think Athon Zeribe used to say that on election day, whether you even registered to be voted for or not, the important thing is to get somebody to announce that you won the election. Then you can say to them, go to court. Then you can go into office and use state resources to fight that person.
A group of people that can vote in such a constitution will not be considered as a very good people because they are one way or the other tolerating fraud. Then the third reason why Nigerians may not be considered as very good people is that according to Socrates, he said that corruptio optimi pessima, that is, the corruption of the best is the worst. What we find in the Nigerian polity today is that the best among our citizens are actually the most corrupt. We're witnessing this in the recent elections where university professors are the ones that are actually engaging in election rigging. In all over the world, professors are highly regarded as standard bearers in most developed societies, and they are, you can say, they are involved in research, development, technological advancements. Professors, however, are employed in Nigeria to rig elections, beginning with the INEC chairman Yakubu Muhammad, who is a professor of history. However, by doing these professors have exposed themselves, let the cat out of the bag, and shown the world why the Nigerian universities are so badly run, because the people in the helms of affairs, the professors, are irredeemably corrupt. The fourth reason why Nigerians may not be regarded as very good people in general is that Nigerians are narcissistic. Nigerians have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. Despite the fact that, an example of this is that despite the fact that most African countries outperform Nigeria in all indices of development, Nigerians still consider themselves as the giant of Africa. For instance, Ghana has a 9% higher education rate than Nigeria, while St. Kitts has a literacy rate of 95.9%. The Nigerian literacy rate is barely 60%, and this holds true for all other indices of development. Only no city in Nigeria with pipe-bomb water, good roads, adequate supply of electricity, standard healthcare. Yet, we arrogate to ourselves the title of being the giant of Africa. So the simple answer to the question, why does God allow bad things to happen, is so that those who believe they are good will realize that they are not. Further reason why God allowed bad things to happen is based on this Christian belief that God, though he could have done it, did not create a closed world where only he can control things. Rather, he created an open-ended world where man can use his freedom and intellect to make things happen. God made man in his image and likeness, according to Christianity, giving freedom and intelligence to choose between good and evil. Thus, man can use, we all can use our talents for good and good or evil. We see this clearly in concluded elections, where Buhari and his agent Yakubu could have held free and fair elections to ensure justice for all, but they chose to rig the election, manipulate results, thereby promoting injustice and violence. Thus, men who choose evil are responsible for injustice and wickedness and bad things, and not God. This is why heaven and hell exist. God gave man freedom to do as he pleases, but he also requires a strict account every man's use of that freedom at the end of his life. Those who use their freedom for good will go to heaven, while those who use it for evil will go to hell forever. Thus, God allows temporary evil and injustice in this world because all who do good or evil will receive eternal justice. Perhaps the ultimate end of Buhari, Tinubu, and Yakubu and their accomplices will be eternal punishment of hell, which God will inflict on them on the last day. Nonetheless, if the numerous ordinary Nigerians who are also engaged in petty thefts, bribery and corruption in their offices, if they think that they themselves will not be judged, then they better think again. They will not escape hell if they don't repent of their own petty theft. For he who is faithful in little is also faithful in much, and he who is dishonest in little is also dishonest in much. Petty thieves are just Tinubu or Yakubu waiting for their chance. And another way of looking at the question why God allowed bad things to happen is to reflect on the Jesus Christ and the redemptive suffering. Jesus Christ, true God and true man, provides another explanation for why God allowed things to happen. The sinless, innocent, and just one, Jesus Christ, to suffer. Why? Well, the answer is that Christ died to redeem us from death out of love. Christ's death defeats evil and shows us that suffering can be redemptive. The sinless one freely chooses, embraces the cross as an act of love, in perfect obedience to his Father, reconciling everyone to God, and showing us how we must embrace the cross and suffering that comes our way in atonement for our sin and the sin of the world. According to the Catholic Catechism, sin makes men accomplices in criminal structures that lead to violence and injustice. Therefore, sin creates ungodly social system, and it is personal sins that create structures of sin. Hence, it is sin and immorality, not God, that causes bad things to happen. Thus, we must unite to restore public order and morality. Every good person, if we want to be good, must unite. But it must be remembered that the goal is not to purify these structures, but to help people to become moral again. Because no matter how much you purify structures of criminality, if you do not restore the people in them to morality, those sound structures, once purified, will again be endangered by people. John Paul II said that this task of purifying society is a task which demands courage and patience. Courage because we must not be afraid to clash with the prevailing atmosphere, and patience because changing society from within takes time. It takes many people working in different projects with like-minded purpose, perhaps to promote schools and educational systems that provide urgent human formation, they eventually bring about the right moral environment. So in conclusion, when we ask why does God allow bad things to happen, well, the answers are possibly that God allowed bad things to happen so that people who previously think that they are good may realize that they have shortcomings, and facing these shortcomings they may grow and become better. Secondly, it is this sin and it is the freedom that God gave to man, freedom and intellect that he gave to man, which he allows man to use freely, whereby man can choose to do good, thereby creating a better world, or to do evil and creating injustices and bringing about evil in society. So when we ask why God allowed bad things to happen, it is not God who allows these bad things, but the freedom that men exercise willingly to choose good and evil. And God does allow this because eventually there will be accountability at the end of time, and all those who have chosen evil will pay for it, and those who have chosen good will be rewarded. Finally, God allowed bad things to happen so that we can imitating Christ, see the redemptive meaning of suffering, embracing the suffering that come our way, and uniting it to the suffering of Jesus Christ, and thereby transforming ourselves and becoming more and more like Christ, and accepting this suffering with love in order to purify ourselves and purify societies of sin. Thank you.